Hello everyone, welcome back to ABBA English. My name's Marion and I'm a teacher here at ABBA English, and in this video today I'm going to talk to you about indirect questions. So, first, what is the difference between a direct question and an indirect question? You are probably very familiar with direct questions already. They are basic, normal questions that we ask to get information or to make requests. For example, what is your name? Where is the library? How do I use this? Typically, direct questions use the following formula: question word, auxiliary verb, subject, main verb. Direct questions like that are usually reserved for people you know quite well. They can also be part of a longer conversation when you have already established a relationship of some kind with the person that you're talking to. But if you don't know the person that you're speaking to, direct questions can seem a little bit abrupt or a bit rude. Here is when the use of indirect questions comes in handy. This method of asking questions is more formal and polite, so it's perfect if you don't know the person that you're speaking to very well, or if you are in a professional situation. You'll notice that during this video, I'm going to use a lot of modal verbs in many of my examples. It's not always necessary to use modal verbs when asking indirect questions, but it can be useful to think about which modal verb might fit your situation. Here are some examples of direct questions and the indirect alternatives that you can use. Where is the library? Could you tell me where the library is? In this example, I use the verb is. If you use is or are in indirect questions, the verb, in this case is, comes after the subject. What time does the train leave? Do you know what time the train leaves? How do I use this machine? Do you mind telling me how to use this machine? Can I make a reservation? Would it be possible for me to make a reservation? How much does this shirt cost? Could you tell me how much this shirt costs? For yes/no questions, you can use if. For example, does James work here? This can become, do you know if James works here? Are there any jobs available? This might become, could you tell me if there are any jobs available? Are you going away soon? This can become, I was wondering if you are going away soon. As you can see from the last example, sometimes they can be statements rather than actual questions. If you say, I was wondering if, then that implies that you want information from someone, so you don't have to ask the question. You can say, I was wondering if instead. There aren't many firm rules around forming indirect questions, but using if for yes/no questions and being mindful of using modal verbs are both helpful habits to get used to when asking indirect questions. Would you mind telling me where the nearest hospital is? Could you help me find the bathroom? Would it be possible to book a hotel room? Often we say, do you know, instead of asking directly. So something like, do you know where the bathroom is? Or Do you know when the shops will open? Those are very useful ways to ask questions. We also say, I was wondering, or do you mind, as I mentioned earlier. I was wondering if you could help me find the bathroom. Do you mind if I sit here? Do you mind telling me where the bathroom is? When you use do you mind, either follow it with if, so something like do you mind if I sit here, or follow it with a word that uses the gerund. Do you mind telling me where the bathroom is? So those are some ways to ask indirect questions so that you can be polite or professional. I hope that it's been helpful. Why don't you practice by asking me something in the comments below using an indirect question, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.